Okay, today we're going to go over it's just a series of slides I made, and the tech we're going to use today is Socrative, and it's something we went over this week, and it's basically just a website where you can use quizzes. You can go to multiple choice questions, true, false, short answer to do quick questions. And in my case, I'm going to use them as a review, and during the lecture, I would go over them and prompt the students to answer the questions, and this would keep them involved in the lecture. So we're going to go over this. I would start out with a review question. So we would go over what we did last class, like just a summary. So what's the definition of good, and what is the definition of a service? And for this, I would go with the short answer for the students, and I would put in what is the definition of a good. I would start, and there I could start. I could have students answer, and they could type in their short answer, and it would show me the results. And I could prompt students to answer, and maybe go over in the end, give them a few seconds, and go over a review. Well, what is a good, and then what was it? If some students got it wrong, why they got it wrong, and prompt them just so they know and get a good review of that. And again, the same thing for the service. So next, I'm just going to go through my slides. So I made one for the New York Stock Exchange, largest stock in the US, all that. And I would then go to my question. And I would go, true or false, is the New York Stock Exchange the largest stock exchange in the United States? And this would keep the students involved with the lecture so they pay attention to the previous slide where it says largest stock exchange in the US. And I would prompt them to do true or false. So I'd start a true or false question. And then I would have my students answer. And obviously the answer would be true. And then we go back to this. And we go down to the Dow Jones. Includes the 30 top companies in the stock exchange. That's what I'm wanting them to get from this slide. So I'm going to go, this is a picture of it, and then I would prompt them with a question again to keep them involved. How many companies are listed in the Dow Jones? And I have my options A, B, C, or D. And for this answer, I could go to multiple choice. I could prompt students to answer right here. And the answer I have was C, it's 30. And again, when I go over it, I'm going to see who got it wrong and who got it right. And we would always go back to the slide as a little review and be like, okay, well, we have right here, it includes the list, the top 30 companies in the stock exchange. And we could go over why is that good? Why is that bad? Does it skew its data ever? Stuff like that. And then we could go down to our next slide, the NASDAQ, what it stands for, second largest American stock exchange. And what I want them to get from this slide is that it deals with tech-based companies. And here's the picture I provided. And again, I would ask a question to prompt them to think, prompt them to take a note of what we were learning. And I say the NASDAQ typically deals with which type of companies. And obviously I want the answer to be A for them. So I would go back and I would go to my multiple choice and I would want them to click A. And then again, as I could see what they put down, we could go over, well, why kids got it wrong, why they got it right. And I could say, well, back in this slide, it says it deals with tech-based companies. So we wouldn't deal with finance. We wouldn't deal with art. We wouldn't deal with music unless those are using online resources like they would just use something online. Then it could be a tech-based company. And why those answers could be implemented if they were tech-based. And basically that sums it up. I would just prompt my students through lecture. I would go through a lecture and I would start the lecture with a review, ask some questions at the beginning, get them thinking, make them think of what we just learned in the last class. And I would then go through the lecture and I would ask them a series of questions through there to make sure they're paying attention, and then I could see who's participating in the class. And we could use this with this app. You could have it on your phone, so that way I could have the students use their phone and kind of control how they're using them without disrupting the class. So if they're using it for this, then they're not going to be on Facebook or Instagram, for example. And I just think that's a really nice tool. I'm glad that we got to learn about this tool. I found it very interesting. I made an account for myself, and I'm really hoping to use it in the future. So thank you for listening.